According to conventional wisdom, ufology started with Kenneth Arnold's sighting in June the 24th, 1947, when private pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed that he saw a string of 9 shiny UFOs flying past Mount Rainier. However, if the phenomenon is occurring today, there's a good chance that it may have been occurring for hundreds if not thousands of years. Back in the 1990s, I decided to start to look for evidence of UFOs in ancient times. And what I'm about to present to you now is a compilation of all the images I came across of actual UFO sightings. Now, some of them may have conventional explanations, such as comets, but I thought it would be good just to get them all under one umbrella. September the 28th, 8 o'clock in the evening, 1892, a bright red object appeared suddenly in the southern sky of Nanjing City. Its shape resembled a gigantic egg, and it was travelling slowly eastward. The object was clearly visible in the night sky. Hundreds of civilians were standing on Red Sparrow Bridge, jostling for a good view, standing on tiptoe, craning their necks upward. One witness said, when it first arose, there was a slight noise which was hardly audible, like the buzzing approach of men darting across the south gate. The sound was so soft that most people would have missed it. He added that the object soared up into the sky from the southern outskirts of the city. It was so strange. Utsuro Boon, or Hollow Ship, was an unknown object that allegedly washed ashore in 1803 in the Hitachi province on the eastern coast of Japan. When defining Utsuro Boon, the Boon part means boat, while Utsuro means empty or hollow. Accounts of the tale appear in 3 texts. According to legend, an attractive young woman aged 18 to 20 years old arrived on a local beach aboard the Hollow Ship on February the 22nd, 1803. Fishermen brought her inland to investigate further, but the woman was unable to communicate in Japanese. She was very different from anyone else there. The fishermen then returned her to her vessel to the sea, where it drifted away. August the 18th, 1783, at Windsor Castle, at around 9 p.m. Several witnesses saw flashes of light on the northern horizon, followed by a roundish shiny object. It was big too, size as half the width of the moon. It started off still and then began to move and became brighter. It became oblong-shaped and so bright it illuminated the whole landscape. Then the object developed a tail and several luminous bodies, each with its own tail. Then it disappeared. Reports say 10 minutes later, witnesses from Shetland to Brussels saw the sphere become elliptical and repeatedly change between the 2 shapes. Witnesses around the country said it was travelling at around 20 miles per second. Some guessed it was 58 miles high. According to the publication it had appeared in, one likely explanation was that it was a very rare bright meteor. However, eyewitnesses said it was travelling parallel with the Earth rather than hurtling towards it. Also, if it was a meteor, then it would have crashed and caused a crater, and none has ever been found. The illustration you see here of the event was created by painter and Royal Academician Paul Sandby. He is depicted in the illustration along with the witnesses at Windsor Castle. 16th of December 1742, St James Park, London. An individual describes his sighting of a large skyrocket moving parallel to the horizon in a wavy motion. These 2 illustrations are of UFOs sighted in Xiantong, China, 1718. The one on the left on the 20th of August and the other one on the 8th of September. One wonders if the phenomena likes to play around with our religious symbols for their own ends. London, 1710. 2 night watchmen witnessed this UFO. Notice the devil-like figure. Any unexplained phenomena would often be interpreted in a supernatural way. Hamburg, Germany, November 1697. 2 glowing wheels were sighted in the sky. You can see witnesses on the ground looking up at the objects. A French jeton from the 17th century seems to show a weird flying disc. Jetons were coin-like tokens used to help people do sums using an abacus-like tool, and which was also used in gambling games. Could it depict a UFO sighting from that era? This pair of flaming-like objects was spotted on the 15th of August 1670 in France. This broadsheet is from 1566, Basel, Switzerland, and describes a series of UFO sightings. The text of the broadsheet can be translated as giving the following description of the event. It happened in 1566 three times, on the 27th and 28th of July, and on August the 7th, against the sunrise and sunset, we saw strange shapes in the sky above Basel. During the year 1566, on the 27th of July, after the sun had shone warm on the clear bright skies, and then around 9 p.m. it suddenly took a different shape and colour. First the sun lost all its radiance and lustre, and it was no bigger than the full moon. And finally it seemed to weep tears of blood, and the air behind him went dark. And he was seen by all the people of the city and countryside, in much the same way also the moon, which has already been almost full, and has shone through the night, assuming an almost blood-red colour in the sky. The next day, Sunday, the sun rose at about 6 o'clock, and slept with the same appearance it had when it was lying before. He lit houses, streets, and around us if everything was blood-red and fiery. At the dawn of August the 7th we saw large black spheres coming and going with great speed and precipitation before the sun, and chattered as if they led a fight. Many of them were fiery red and soon crumbled and then extinguished. Another broadsheet, 1561, Nuremberg, Germany. According to the broadsheet, around dawn on April the 14th, 1561, residents of Nuremberg saw what they described as an aerial battle, followed by the appearance of a large black triangular object and then a large crash outside the city. The broadsheet claims that witnesses observed hundreds of spheres, cylinders, and other odd-shaped objects that moved erratically overhead. The broadsheet describes objects of various shapes, including crosses, globes, two lunar crescents, a black spear, and tubular objects from which several smaller round objects emerged and darted around the sky at dawn. This illustration is from a book by Konrad Lycosthenes, which was a compendium of unexplained phenomena. On one of the pages is this illustration of an object looking like a sharply pointed beam spotted in Arabia in February 1479. In 1465, in February in Italy, a flaming girder was seen over the skies during the reign of Enrico IV. These illustrations are from a 16th century manuscript and depict some UFO sightings from 494 AD over Milan. Crosses once again seen during a war between the Swiss and the Italians. 99 BC, Tarquinia near Rome. The description reads, at sunset a round shield flew west to east. 216 BC, Rome. An ox was seen to levitate into the sky, and then ships were seen. Maybe an early cattle mutilation? Who knows?